welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of October 12th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me tonight, one individual who is healthy.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Daniel Alice. Not like Devon Kraft, who is not healthy today. He called in sick.
He did. He called into the podcast sick.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. He texted in to the podcast sick.
Well, that's what people do now. They text. I haven't had a job since the advent of just like giving your employer your cell phone to be able to contact you at any time. That was never something that I had to deal with. And when I think about that, I feel sad for the world. That's your own personal communication device. You should not have to take those calls. Of course, unless it's part of your job, blah, blah, blah. But,
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, I mean, as someone who the last couple of weeks, or I guess the last couple of months, has had a tether to the job. No, I mean, it's not great, but like, I think that what's nice is that there are people who are in particular positions that, like, okay, so for example, I get called in, right?
Yeah.
I get to make the call about whether or not I make more members of my team have a tough time, or if I just jump in and I go, oh, hey, this is something that can happen tomorrow.
Right.
Right. Like,
but yeah.
And more often than not, I've been able to make that call. And I think that's like, it is much better for it just to be me than for it to be 4 members of my team jumping on and going, okay, we're here to do something. And that really didn't need anybody's attention,
Yeah.
So like, it could be far worse, and has been far worse for me when I realized that a lot of this stuff was the start of a conversation, not a commandment.
That's actually that was that was on the 3rd tablet that Moses brought down. This is the start of a conversation, not a commandment.
Right.
But then that's the one that fell down. So oops.
Yeah, it was right next to the like give your employer your phone number.
Yeah, that was it was going to be part of the conversation. Now it's just commandment.
Don't talk about your coworkers on LinkedIn. That's on the 3rd tablet.
You know what?
Too.
I say do it. I say tell everyone about Deborah in accounting. Do it now.
It was really strange how Moses was like, hey, don't really use X. And like everybody's like, what is this X thing that's on the tablet?
It's just an X. Does it mean 10? We don't know.
We don't know.
We know now. We definitely know now.
But
this is a podcast about science and science fiction.
I'm curious, like I didn't ask Devon like what kind of sickness he had, because like we've had a little bit of a cold hit the younger
it hit us too.
Member of our crew.
Yeah.
Okay. Things are going around, man.
It came and it went. Well, no, it came just enough to annoy us and has stuck around for like a week and a half. It's just it's sniffles and it's coughs and it's nothing serious enough to stop normal life. And it's just annoying.
Veni vidi vinoi.
What?
Veni vidi vinoi. Instead of Veni vidi vici.
Sure. It's the other one.
They came, they saw, they conquered.
Yeah.
They came, they saw, they annoyed.
They annoyed. I got it. It's always better when you explain the joke.
Right. Well, you mean,
oh my gosh, dude! What have you been up to lately? I know. Well, I'm going to say that and immediately interrupt myself. We recently got together and did something that we haven't done in a long time.
Dude, yeah, and we got a large group together for it.
That was I think that's the biggest
mini golf.
That was the biggest session of Walkabout Mini Golf I think we've ever done. What's great about it, and this is the first time I think that we've played with somebody doing it this way. So we were playing with somebody who wasn't in VR, because when the game started, it was VR only. You had to have I have a Oculus Rift S, and now it's like, they were bought out by Meta and blah. And you've got stuff. Devon's got stuff. Josh, of course.
Yeah,
Patron Josh has a
he's
VR.
He's got like an Odyssey HM. It's a non-major brand name.
Okay.
Headset.
He's got Temu VR. That's fine. If it works, it works.
Sure.
No, it's all good. No hate here.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, his audio was working though.
his audio was working, and mine was not. That's a whole nother story. But what I'm working up to was Matt was able to join us.
Yes.
Correspondent adjacent to a field, Matt.
Yeah, on iOS. So
he was just on his phone that whole time.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
When it came out, it was really cool. I actually picked up a copy of it for my Apple ID, and so Flint, Nicole, and we were all able to sit in the living room, and I think Flint had on my Oculus, and then I was on an iPad, Nicole was on an iPhone, and we were playing together, and
so cool.
That was super cool too.
That's fun.
So yeah, and much like if you have an Apple account, you can always in multiple devices, you can always share it with your family
share and stuff. Yeah.
So I only had to buy it twice for those 3 devices.
But it is such an excellent game that keeps on giving. It seems like every
$5 too.
Yeah, and it comes preloaded with several. Sounds like we're shilling for them now. We get no money from them. They're just awesome. The game comes with like 5 or 6 courses, something like that have.
Oh wait, more than that. They added a bunch of like the early release courses to the base content now.
Oh, so even more now. Well, okay. Yeah. So what I was working up to there was that also a bunch of DLCs, which are like $2 to $3 depending on how you buy them. Totally worth it. There's a ton of content in every course. It's always fun. And then like just the social part of it, that we get together, we have people spread all across the city, another city, and another city in another state, all playing the same mini golf course at the same time, having conversations with each other, catching up on old times. Sometimes audio doesn't work properly and Steven gets upset. Sometimes it works fine. I had some issue. I think it was hardware on my end. Could have been software. Whatever it was on my end, and my mic wasn't working properly until I reset a bunch of stuff. I thought it was dead for good, and then it started working. So the evil wizard that lives in my computer decided I did something right and allowed me microphone access. And we played the Tokyo one. That there's a course
Tokyo level
based on Tokyo. And then
it came out in the last month or so. Mm-hmm. And that one was really cool. I really liked how detailed it is.
It was very like downtown Tokyo. I don't know if that makes sense. It was like, I don't know. Well, how would you describe that? Because it hit a bunch of like tropes that Westerners would understand from Japan, but without being like weird or pandering or anything. It hit just right.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're in a very densely packed urban area that has like a bathhouse and a bar and
sushi places and
you're just kind of playing through
mini marts
through these places. Yeah, like a cat cafe.
That's the big thing, because every course has like a thing besides its main setting, and this one was that there was like cats everywhere, like little cartoony cats.
Yeah, cats, and then like one of them was like a candy store that was like a bear's mouth that you had to putt into.
That had to be a reference to something, but I didn't get it.
Yeah, the kawaii cafe, but yeah, it was just like, it was so cool. It was really neat.
Yeah,
and
it was a good course.
Yeah. And then we ducked into the Crystal Lair, which is the second DLC level that
was the third.
I think, well, has there been, okay, so like they've got a bunch of themed levels. I think you're right. Evil Layers is what they're called. And this is the third. There was the 8-bit layer and the laser layer before.
Right.
So this is the crystal layer.
I haven't done the 8-bit one yet. We gotta get back in there.
That one's pretty fun. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So
and then but the crystal layer was interesting because it had a bunch of these crystals within each one of the putting greens, and if you hit, like it would create like a gravitational pull for your ball, but when it struck the crystal, it like bounced off,
like really shot it out. Yeah It's almost like it was absorbing energy and then blasting it out or something. It was a cool effect. Some of these courses have like a cool thing about them, and that's for that one. Like the dinosaur one we did had like, you know, live quote unquote dinosaurs around off the PCH, which was like, that's very specific. Which there was one upside down. Is that what it was called? Where like the gravity changed. There's a bunch of cool stuff.
That one's one of my favorite, and that one is now one of the standard courses that comes with the game.
Oh, beautiful! Yeah. So if this sounds cool, and you have a VR headset or VR attached to your computer, whatever, this is like a must buy. This is so cool. And if you just want to check it out and you don't have that, and if you have an iDevice, well then play it that way. It's probably worth it. Is what I say.
It's not the same. That's for sure, but it uses augmented reality to really good effect, and and it still has the other like connectivity functionality. Like we were having conversation with Matt the whole time. It's great.
Oh yeah, it worked like flawlessly. Anyways, let's move on from that. We talked about that for a long time without getting paid for it. That's Walkabout Mini Golf. I've contacted them through Twitter back when Twitter was Twitter. And they were cool. They like responded and stuff. Oh, there's hidden balls in every course, and there's like a nighttime mode where there's like a treasure hunt or some puzzle to solve. It's chock full of content. All right, let's move on. We talked about that. Here I'll say this so that from this point forward, talking we can be a little more specific. I went to a pumpkin painting caramel apple pie party thing for the kids today. My oldest, she one of her classmates, we did this last year as well. Their family hosts this every October, and it's just like, come when you want. The doors are open. It's on a big piece of land here in town. And this year, since we've been around these people all last year and like all this year, we're all in the same class again and all that. I'm getting to know like parents and stuff. And so I got to chat with a couple of my daughter's parents' friends, and we ended up talking about podcasts. They might be listening right now. So that kind of reminds me of Stan Lee and his ethos with writing comic books. For everybody, this is their first comic book. That's how you have to write it. And so while we're podcasting, we have to remember there might be a first-time listener. So... Wow. Keep that in mind, everybody.
Oh gosh, okay. All right.
So anyways, it's super cool. They're teachers. They're into like science and science fiction and stuff. So we were talking about Dune. One of the guys is reading Dune, and so I just got in. That was the transition. I was like, let me tell you about Dune. I did not like it, and my podcasting buddy did like it, and we went on from there. Did you watch the second half of Dune yet?
Yes, I did. I don't recall much of it, but I thought I enjoyed it.
It was late at night and you were falling asleep or something?
Yeah, pretty much. I was surprised that it was not like the finale. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. The third one coming.
It did not complete Dune, and the number of times I've seen that story, like I expected it to be completed at the end of that movie, and it wasn't.
So Mr. Dune didn't show up at the end of Dune 2. No Mr. Dune?
Right. Okay. No Mr. Dune. Bummer. Mr. Dune dead. Yes.
Oh no, dead. Well, I went straight from that party to going over to friend of the show, Greg. Christina's husband. And we played with another buddy, Patrick, the Hellboy board game.
Oh.
And this is one of those like very kind of niche thing. You're never going to see this on the shelf. And the version that Greg has, like the Kickstarter exclusive, like all that, there was a ton of miniatures all painted. It the actual gameplay was really fun though. It was you like pick a scenario and you build out the board according to the scenario. And it sounds like typically it's indoors, but for this one it was an exterior. We were like hunting down some giants, which comes from one of the Hellboy comics. So like all the scenarios are from different stories if you're a Hellboy fan. Anyway, it's a 4-player co-op game. So the 4 of us were playing. One dude was Hellboy. I was Johann Schmidt. I don't remember. I'm like a ghost man inside of like a diver suit almost. I got to do I got to leave the suit in ghost form and like go do stuff across the map and come back, which was cool. Hellboy is super good at attacking and fighting. Somebody was Liz, the one that like shoots fire, and Greg was Lobster Johnson, I want to say, and I don't know. Most of these characters I don't know, but
Okay.
And like the stack of characters you could play as was like 20 deep. There was a ton of characters. And we ended up fighting against giants and like some other like minion type dudes. And it's one of those games where you're on the board, you're kind of exploring, looking for clues, and that like moves markers around like little counters and stuff. And then after you reach a certain threshold, then the confrontation, whatever that is for that mission, occurs. And for this one, it was like the lead giant pops out and is stronger than the others. And then the boss fight was just eliminating all of the giants from the field. Ton of fun. It's one of those games where it looks more complex than it actually is, first of all. But then when you get into it, it's just like chucking dice, making jokes, having fun. It was a good game. It was a lot of fun. I recommend it. I don't know how you would find a copy of it. But if that sounds cool, the Hellboy board game, check it out.
Okay, I'm curious about finding that on Board Game Geek actually. No.
Yeah. You know what? You talk about something. I'll look it up.
2019. Well, I think I just found
You
it.
found it?
Yeah. So here, I'll just pop a link to it. But yeah, Stephen.
Yes.
You have a thing in here that I really you mentioned Piehole in this list.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see Piehole?
I saw Piehole in your list, and that like just turned off everything I wanted to say. What's going on with Piehole?
I set up a Piehole.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
So for those of you that do not know, and you might be going, what is a Piehole? So Piehole is network-wide ad blocking. Essentially, it's a way for you on your local area network to block all ads before they get to your, any phone that's connected to the network, any computer that's connected to the network,
Anything that's connected to your network.
Yeah, it just blocks it, and therefore it makes a lot of your devices run a lot snappier. And all it is I mean, for me, I have it installed on a Raspberry Pi that's connected directly to my router.
There you go.
And you set up you run a couple commands, set up a couple things, and then it's set it and forget it. And I've really not had to do too much with it except for restart it maybe once every 3 months. But yeah, and
so I did that. The other day I was flipping around YouTube as I do instead of TV, because that's my TV, and the algorithm served me up a Piehole like how to, and I was like, oh, that's right, I keep forgetting about that. And when I saw it, I immediately thought like, oh, that's right, and I have an extra Raspberry Pi right now. I could just set this up, I think. And so I watched.
Is this the same Raspberry Pi that used to run the
bots?
tweeting bots? Okay.
It's been sitting in a drawer, just waiting for some project to come along. So yeah, I set it up. It took me about an hour to like read through everything and download what I need to download, flash the car, do all the things. And also I had to wait a bit because Martine was working from home, And I was like, hey, I'm going to do an internet thing. And she was like, okay, we'll wait till like my lunch break
not
or something.
while I'm in a meeting.
Exactly. Right. And what was funny is like right after I told her that, I came back into my office, started doing stuff, and I heard her like in a Zoom call, and it was all like crackly and weird. She was like, Steven, I was like, I haven't done anything yet. It's not even plugged in. It's not me. So that was funny. But yeah, I got it set it up, got it running. The main thing I want it for, it doesn't work for, of course, which is YouTube ads on the Xbox specifically. Okay. I looked into it, and they're like, yeah, the way that the YouTube app works with the Xbox, you can't block those ads. It just whatever reason you can't do it. Or like if you do, you're blocking most of the functionality of your Xbox to be online anyway. So it's like, what's the point? But a fun thing that Martine found out was that, and she plays a lot of games on her iPhone that are not, games that you would pay money for necessarily, and instead show you ads in between rounds and stuff. And she's like, oh, I was playing my game, and like the ads just stopped showing up. I was like, oh, that's cool. And she was like, yeah, but I was like, what? Well, if I watch an ad and then like watch a second ad, then I get like extra coins in the game. I was like, she's like, yeah, I turned off Wi-Fi so that I could watch the ads to get extra coins. And I was like, what's the point of anything anymore?
That, my wife also did a very similar thing.
We try to help. And, so anyways, yeah, I set that up. It was fun. It was easy. If I didn't already have the hardware, I probably wouldn't go out and buy the hardware. But I also know like what browsers to use on my PC to not have to deal with ads anyway. I'm in a different situation than a lot of people are.
The good news is that it can go on just about anything. If you have a computer that's always connected to the internet, or always online, you can use that. Raspberry Pis are just usually chosen because they have such a low power draw.
Yeah.
That it's
low heat output as well. You don't have to deal with fans and all that.
Right.
And typically, you can have a Raspberry Pi, which a Raspberry Pi, if we haven't explained what that is, tiny computer. They're about the size of a credit card, thicker, of course, but it's like a little tiny thing. And a lot of makers use them as the brains of some kind of component that they're making for a thing, like little robots and stuff will run on Raspberry Pis. And they're very versatile. You can plug a lot of stuff into them. You can have them, connect. Like I watched a dude try to make a little robot, like a little Furby type robot, and he like put a Raspberry Pi into it specifically to have it connect to Chat GPT to like be able to ask it questions and stuff. So it can be used in all kinds of stuff. It was great because the voice that came out was like a robotic male voice, but it looked like a cute little like Furby thing. It was hilarious. And it turned out it was like actually this the Pi that he used was like an older, again, a maker that just has some lying around and just use it because they can. It wasn't powerful enough to like run something locally, and that's a whole other story. Anyways, it's a little tiny computer. They're pretty cheap. If you don't know what they are or how they're used, you would never even know what to do with it, right? Like you're not gonna come across a Raspberry Pi on the shelf at a Target and just be like, oh, one of these, and just plop it into your cart. Like it's a specialty item.
Yeah, I suppose it. When you get it, you have to get a case for it. I mean, you're building a computer.
Yeah,
right?
It's a miniature computer.
And
yeah.
Yeah, and then you get a micro SD card, and you have to flash that with an operating system, of which you have some choices.
You have several choices, and it runs slow, like as an operating system. Like it's
like depends on what you're trying to do, I guess.
Like you can't use that and expect like Windows. Like it's not that.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, you can get it with Windows 11 installed on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so dumb.
There's
no way that runs well.
A stripped down version of it.
So the whatever OS that I used on it when I was doing the bot stuff, anytime I tried to because I use Python, the coding software Python. I use that to write the bots. And so sometimes I would need to make a small change to the bot. So instead of doing that on my computer and then putting it on a USB and then taking the USB, plugging it into the Raspberry Pi, logging in the Raspberry Pi and copying the information off, there was a Python editor on the Raspberry Pi itself within the OS. I was like, oh, great. If it's a small change, I'll just use this on the Pi. And it was always like mind-shatteringly slow for me. But when you go from like a full PC like rig that's rigged for gaming, right? It's not I built it myself. When you go from that to the tiny, credit card sized computer, there's going to be a big difference. And certainly there was.
So, I know I don't have it here on the list, but there is something I'm kind of curious about your take on.
Oh,
so,
I love giving takes. Let's go.
Yeah. Coming up this next week, I think on October 16th, Microsoft has announced that Windows 10 is hitting its end of life.
Okay.
Which, unlike any other time in Windows history, there's still 44% of all computers running Windows right now are on Windows 10.
Okay.
Even and cannot be upgraded to Windows 11 because of different hardware cutoffs that they have.
Yeah, Windows 11 requires some weird stuff. I remember I had to go into my motherboard BIOS and like mess with it before Windows 11 installed properly. So
yeah. And so like this is not necessarily a problem for you or me. But for me, okay, it's not a problem for you because you already have Windows 11.
Right, because I upgraded. Yeah.
A device with Windows 10. It's not a problem for me because several months ago when I heard that this was coming down the pipeline and I took a look to see if the major things I was really interested in Windows 11 having fixed that they didn't bring over from Windows 10, still hadn't been. And and I'm like, okay, well, they're obviously never going to do that.
Yeah.
So
it's been a few years.
I was like, yeah, I'm just let me see how well Linux works. And I installed Bazzite Linux, a kind of video game console version of Linux for my gaming PC, and have never looked back. Like I'm now glad, happily running my Forza Horizon 5 on my rig, and it's so nice, including a new game I've been playing called Cloudpunk. So we've got all this stuff here from like previous weeks, and I'm like, but I've got what I want to talk about now. Okay, all that being said,
that's fine. Yeah,
like 44% of all Windows 10 computers, like of all Windows computers, are still Windows 10 and cannot upgrade.
Right.
That means that we have potentially an issue at hand of all of these perfectly functional PCs that are going to be junked.
No, that's wrong. They're not junked. They're just running an obsolete operating system that's not going to be updated anymore. They still run as they were.
Security updates.
Right. They'll be less secure, but secure for what? Like, so like I'm thinking about it in terms of if I'm a bad actor, if I'm trying to get your information, is it easier for me to attempt to get into somebody's Windows 10 PC to root around and look for important stuff, or concentrate my efforts on finding whoever in the cloud and like getting information and stealing stuff that way?
Wait, I don't quite understand the second part, but I think what you're getting at is you're saying that these bad actors are not going to target easy marks because they're running out-of-date software that has unpatched security vulnerabilities. Like it seems like that would definitely be what they would be going for.
I mean,
because
sure, like that seems like the kind of thing to me that like someone's always knocking on those doors trying to get information out of it. But like, who has their I guess no, it's just I'm living at a place of my white maleness is showing again. I'm just thinking I don't have any important information on like just sitting on my computer. All my important stuff is wrapped up in accounts in the cloud somewhere.
So you haven't logged on to your banking?
I do it all on my phone.
Website on your computer?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I use their app that has facial recognition ID on it.
Yeah. No, I just the number of times I have to download a CSV of like my past stuff because I need to figure out like, oh, what has been going on with my banking account the last year is about a monthly thing.
Okay. Fair. Like I said, I'm speaking from a place of privilege, and I probably shouldn't be. So okay. What do I think about it? It sucks. Yeah. It sucks, but also like, can a company be required to continue to update against impossible odds on something that they have moved beyond already? Like, should I be upset that there might be like a certain percentage that's still running Windows 95 or 2000 or ME edition or whatever?
So like this is the first Windows since probably 7 that has had this type of like harsh cutoff.
Okay.
Most computers have been able to update if you want to the latest Windows and stay within, I think that the way I'm looking at it right now though is like there's also an opportunity for those who maybe want to get secondhand computers to run, maybe you want to take a look and see how Linux is, and you don't want to do it on your main PC. You don't want to dual boot for some reason.
For some weird reason.
Yeah, there is an opportunity out there where there's going to be a huge glut of hardware hitting the secondhand market and hitting the junk bins, the electronics recycling departments. And I'm kind of excited about that, honestly.
Well, you love outdated stuff.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I mean, so there's also the thing, like, we are no longer the target demographic, right? We're aging out. We're old now. So I'm thinking like we all grew up when computers were growing up, right? We were young. We had the first ones. We're older. We're building our own. That's like our age group of people. The typical person that didn't grow up that way, they have a laptop maybe, or they just use their iDevice or a tablet of some sort. To what extent are Windows PCs important in society? I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. Like, I imagine like that this probably hits like schools and stuff the hardest that like can't afford to buy 200 new computers just to run Windows 11 on them. But also, like, if this is a school that probably has their own security anyway, and no one's important information is going to be on these computers. So I don't know. I don't know what the trade-off is. I don't know what my take is on this.
Yeah. Okay. So like my take is it's Microsoft shooting themselves in the foot.
You think their business is going to go down because of this?
Yeah, well, I don't think this is going to play out very well for Microsoft. The decisions that they're making across their consumer facing stuff recently have been a little bit weird, or too little, too late. Like a lot of different things, but it's fascinating here going like, oh wow, you are a titan in the industry. A lot of people for years, like, you have such brand name recognition, like, but first you shut down Skype and you shut, like you're doing all this stuff, and it's like, that's
are they doing it because they see the writing on the wall and the world is moving beyond everyone having a desktop computer in their home.
Don't you think they would want to have everyone have a desktop computer in their home?
Of course they do, but the world's moving on, and they've tried to do tablets, they've tried to do phones, and they can't get in there. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, but like killing off Skype didn't seem like the best idea, but they have some plan. There's something's going to happen, but like they tried to get in the phone space. They tried to make tablets and stuff, and it's just not. It's just not what they're good at.
They they're collaborating with Valve on the new Xbox ROG Ally, whatever that like can run there that you can choose to run SteamOS directly on it, like from install.
So this is like a what you would call like the Microsoft Game Boy. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a little handheld computer like Valve's Steam Deck, but it's Xbox branded.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's I think that like specifically though, the Windows 11 thing is so strange to me, but this is like what an incredible opportunity for anybody who runs an alternative OS. Or is interested in having, like keeping an eye on the secondhand market.
Yeah.
Tinkering around with other stuff.
You're building little robots. If you're a maker, if there's like you say, there's going to be a bunch of stuff flooding the secondary markets. So get while the getting's good.
Yeah. So,
okay, we gotta keep going here. We're already at 36 minutes. Okay, Devon's a no-show. I talked about everything I need to talk about. We haven't done Future or Now in like 2 weeks. We've got to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned this. Devon's sick.
Oh yeah.
So
Devon, that's why he's not here.
That's why he's not here.
We did mention it, right?
Okay, well.
I think so. I'm glad because when he comes on the show and he is sick, he's just sniffing his nose the whole time, and it's so gross. Devon, take the time you need to get better, sir. Please and thank you. All right, let's get on to Future or Now.
Now.
I'm going to go first this week because I feel like it.
Let's go.
I'm calling this one, What's in Your Mouth? Drop it!
I feel like I'm a dog because we shout to our dog all the time.
So this article comes from Science Daily. It was published on September 27th because I pulled this article like 2 weeks ago. What happens to your body when you eat too many ultra-processed foods? So, ultra-processed foods make up the bulk of U.S. diets, and new research links high intake to inflammation, a predictor of heart disease. People consuming the most UPFs, ultra-processed foods, were far more likely to show elevated HSCRP levels, especially older adults, smokers, and those with obesity. Scientists warn that UPFs may contribute to cancer and other chronic illnesses, urging stronger health policies despite pushback from powerful food companies. So yeah, I like to do articles where there's some kind of testable, like this is just data. But data is important to science as well. So UPFs, what is a UPF? Ultra processed foods. They are industrially altered products like sodas, snacks, processed meats. They're packed with additives and stripped of nutrients. It's all to like keep them on the shelf as long as possible and still be, tasty enough to eat. Hundreds of new ingredients previously unknown to the human body now make up nearly 60% of the average adult's diet and almost 70% of children's diets in the United States. So if you're not eating something that was directly grown out of the ground or ate the thing that grew directly out of the ground and then you killed it and then ate it, if it's not one of those two things, you're eating ultra-processed foods probably. I would say like a processed food would be like bread, right? You take a grain, you process it, you change it around a little bit, you make something out of it. But we're talking ultra-processed. New research from Florida Atlantic University's Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine shows that people who consume the most UPFs have significantly higher levels of high sensitivity C-reactive protein, which is the HSCRP, a sensitive marker of inflammation and a strong predictor of cardiovascular disease. The science says these things are not good for us. Until now, there's been limited data from nationally representative U.S. populations on the link between UPF intake and its HSCRP levels. The HSCRP, I keep stumbling over that because it's a lowercase HS and a dash and a capital CRP.
It's funny because when they say like high sensitivity, it's all lowercase. C reactive protein. The C is capitalized, but reactive protein is not. And yet,
and what is
HS?
Yeah,
CRP.
What is that C? Is that C vitamin C? It doesn't say. C reactive protein must be a thing, and I don't know about. Okay, so there was a study published in the American Journal of Medicine. Shows that participants consumed a median of 35% of their daily calories from UPFs, ranging from 0% to 19% in the lowest group to 60% to 79% in the highest. After accounting for factors like age, gender, smoking, physical activity, and other health indicators, researchers found that individuals in the highest UPF intake group, which is 60 to 79% of daily calories, had an 11% higher likelihood of elevated HSCRP levels compared to those in the lowest intake group. So if you get 60, what this study is saying is if 60 to roughly 80% of your food for the day comes from ultra processed foods, there is you have an 11% chance of having elevated HSCRP levels. And if you have those elevated levels, you are more susceptible to chronic illnesses like cancer. Where's the list? Heart disease, cancer, other chronic illnesses. So, like when you look at the numbers that way, it's not like I eat a Twinkie, I'm going to die.
Right.
So
the C-reactive protein is a protein produced by the liver that increases in response to inflammation in the body. And so there is a test that you can run that is a C-reactive protein test, and it helps you find out if you have heart disease.
Okay.
So so that's the C-reactive protein in HSCRP.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. The article goes through and talks to like different age groups and stuff. And of course, the link will be in the show notes if you want to check out this article for yourself. It's here. It's here in the article. C-reactive protein is produced by the liver, and the HSCRP protein test is a simple, affordable, and highly sensitive measure of inflammation, as well as a reliable predictor of future cardiovascular disease. That's a quote from Charles H. Hennekins, MD, FACPM, FACC co-author, the first Sir Richard Dahl Professor of Medicine and Preventive Medicine, and Senior Academic Advisor, Schmidt College of Medicine. I assume that person knows what they're talking about.
I'm curious, he must come from a long line of Hennekins, MD, FACPM, FACC co-author, the first Sir Richard Dahl Professor of Medicine and Preventive Medicine, and Senior Academic Advisor, Schmidt College of Medicine.
We can't say that in one breath, can we? That's really hard. I kind of want to try again. The authors also highlight a significant rise in colorectal cancer rates in the U.S., particularly among younger adults. They suggest that increased consumption of UPFs may be a contributing factor, along with its potential role in several other gastrointestinal diseases. One last bit here, drawing a parallel to the history of tobacco, the authors note that it took decades for mounting evidence and the efforts of progressive health officials to lead to policies discouraging cigarette use. They believe a similar trajectory is likely for UPFs, with growing awareness eventually driving meaningful public health action. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the like sugar stuff, and how like the that Americans put sugar in everything, and because we're putting sugar in everything, that's causing this obesity epidemic that we're going through, because the body will burn the sugar before it'll burn stuff that it's other calories that it's there's science behind all that as well. And along with like knowing that, then came the different like health crazes, different kinds of diets, keto or keto, the ketogenic diet, stuff like that, which is something that I'm doing right now.
You're back on it, huh?
I mean, yes and no. I'm not so strict on it, but strict enough. Essentially, I went to my doctor. I talked about this a few weeks ago. I went to my doctor, like, weight's a little off. Just try eating less sugar stuff. And so, like, I just took that. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to more. It's more of like a bread and sugar restrictive diet than like strict keto. But what's nice, if you are doing the keto thing, there is now, like I did it several years ago with success. Doing it now, like there are keto breads now that are like, it's just like normal bread. The taste is so close, the texture is so close that like I don't even think about it. So like I'm eating sandwiches and stuff like I normally did, just with I bought a different bread instead. So it's not a huge deal. The biggest thing for me is like the sweets, cutting out like cookies and ice cream, stuff like that, which is just like in my head they just don't exist right now. Besides that, it's like the pastas and the rices that I miss the most. Making like a big pasta dish or a big rice dish. But I just eat something else instead. It's fine. So anyways, yeah, less UPFs, better chance at not getting really terrible diseases is what I'm saying there. So again, links in the show notes if you want to check that out. And that's it for my article this week.
Right on.
Ben, give me you got two here, and I see an or. Which one are you going for?
I'm going to go with the second one here.
Okay.
Hey, so creating your own physical music format, which is what this one fella did at Fulgham.io. Jordan Fulgham, on October of 2025, basically decided to make what he calls album cards in order to rebuild the joy of music discovery for his 10-year-old. So this album card. All right, let's go back. Right,
let's go back even further. What is a music format?
What is a music format? Right. So, so growing up, you and I, we had a few different music formats. We grew up in the era of vinyl going to cassette tape.
Sure.
Right. Then eventually CDs came along, and then the iPod and digital music streaming services.
Well, I would say, and I'm being pedantic now, but
sure.
The rise of the CD was like the start of digital music. It was a physical thing that had the digital music on it. You could rip CDs though and have it in digital from that point forward. So we went from analog to digital in our lifetimes. It's crazy. Right. We've lived through it all.
we have. But I mean, like, okay, so right now though, we're in an era where music is commoditized quite a bit, and perhaps a portion of that is that there's no physical thing that you're leafing through anymore to listen to music when you're accessing it on digital devices.
Correct.
So, like I can't tell you how much time I spend listening to an album and like flipping through liner notes and lyrics and looking at all the amazing art that wasn't just the auditory sensation. Right. There was the visual sensation, and then also the physical sensation of flipping through it and being very specific about what we wanted to listen to and when we wanted to listen to it, and like all of that. It was a different time. And this Jordan Fulgham, he was like, well, his 10-year-old doesn't have any of that. Music just happens.
Yeah.
Like it's infinite and invisible, playing from smart speakers, car stereos, phones, whatever. And what if there was a modern equivalent of the CD browsing experience? You know,
Okay.
and so instead of like burning a bunch of albums to CD, he had a different idea. He said, well, what if he could take something fun and collectible like trading cards,
Oh.
dress them up with album art, and add NFC tags so that they can be tapped to play the album on their home speaker system.
Is
all
this
without a
drop
screen.
mix?
It is very, very similar to drop mix.
Wow.
And yet it's drop mix that this guy made all by himself.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Essentially just like, you know, finding like he had a bunch of MP3s on his Plex home server, but he didn't want anything to, you know, he didn't want a screen to be how it goes. So he's like, well, let's make some trading cards. Trading cards are usually this like it's a tall rather than a square format. So you know, using AI to extend album art to make it tall.
Well, I mean, that's interesting because there was a time when record album art was square and cassette album art was rectangular.
True. Yeah.
And they didn't have AI back then, so what did they
No,
do?
they
They cropped it.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
it. You don't need AI.
Yeah.
Just get some scissors, man. Come on. What are you
But
doing?
yeah,
All that fresh water is being wasted.
this guy he printed out his own art, you know, slapped it onto these NFC tags that and then made a trading card display from Maker World and 3D printed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then just has, you know, this thing where there are a bunch of these cards for his family to enjoy music.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think we have to explain drop mix now, though.
Oh gosh. Okay. So Drop Mix was a video game made by Harmonix, who made the Rock Band series of video games. But there was basically just a collectible trading card game where each card was you would pair it with a base station that would you know, pair via Bluetooth to a phone or a tablet, and then whenever you'd set one of these NFC cards with beautiful art on them onto this this platform, it would play a portion of a song, like a stem from a song, maybe just the vocals from No Doubt's Spiderwebs to the horns from, you know, You Can Call Me Al by Paul Simon, like just, and you could
the drums from a Slipknot song.
Right. And
all just
and when
worked.
you place them next to each other, they would actually make a new song with those portions of that song, and it would be properly mixed. Like it would not sound terrible. It would sound actually pretty good.
My main worry would be immediately like, okay, if you speed this up too much, you slow it down too much, it's gonna like alter. It's however this game works, they nailed it. It always sounds decent at the very least, and awesome at its best. It just, the way it just worked was amazing. I say was because like when did this come out? Like in the mid-aughts?
2017.
Oh, okay. The teens.
But it is defunct. They've removed the game from the iOS App Store, and I've been trying for the last like 6 months off and on trying to get the Android application sideloaded so that I could play it again.
I mean, so like that to me is a greater bummer than Windows saying that 10 no longer is going to be supported. That when you have a physical thing, physical stuff, you have cards, you have the base station, you have those 3D printed like cassette holders for the cards, you have the whole setup that's beautiful, and it's now junk. It's now just trash. Like why not?
It's beautiful still.
It's beautiful trash.
Yeah.
That's the name of this episode
Yeah.
right there. It's beautiful
There
trash.
it is, beautiful trash. But I mean, like, I guess it's I see it like, while what I'm going through with drop mix is a tragedy for sure, it's not like it's not affecting, you know, millions of computers.
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
right?
Okay, okay,
Like
fine.
that's the scale of that is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
You're
drop
right.
mix,
More
it
people
didn't
should
do
have played
well
drop mix.
because more people should have played it. But
Well,
more
okay.
people shouldn't have been putting their money towards Microsoft all these years.
I had just finally bought all the song packs for Rock Band, and then they come out with drop mix. There's no way I was
Dude.
gonna start buying again. Come on.
Yeah, true.
We had
Anyhow,
some
so that's
good Rock Band days. Those were
we
good
did
days.
have some good Rock Band days. Those were great.
Those
I'd
were
like
some of the
to
best.
bring them back.
I don't know if I
Someday.
can. I don't know if that's even an option anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, we
Well,
should
while
we gotta take a break.
well, we do have to take a break because we're starting to get sad, old and sad.
Old and sad. Time to take a break. So we're gonna take ourselves a little break. When we come back, we are talking Wiki History by Desmond Warzel. Links in the show notes. It is I don't know if you can find it anywhere other than online. Reactormag.com. There's a link. Check it out. It's a quick read, couple minutes. Very interesting though. So check that out, and we'll be right back. Oh wow, another free listener. Incredible. Look, I love that you're here, but let's be real. You could be getting so much more. Bonus episodes, unfiltered takes, behind the scenes chaos. All you have to do is join our Patreon at patreon.com/sciencefactionpodcast, or don't. But if you don't, just know that somewhere in a parallel universe, a better version of you already has. And we're back.
Hello. And a big thank you to our patrons, Renee and Josh. Thanks, y'all. And Josh, thanks for joining us at Walkabout Mini Golf.
Yeah, that was super cool. We've got to do that again sooner rather than later.
Yes.
It's a good hang. It's a lot of fun. And I thought it was a complete trip and totally undeserved that I won that, having that I left for 20 minutes while I was doing troubleshooting on my mic, came back in, and as I was just casually talking to you guys, I'm just sinking like 2 3s under par. Like, that was ridiculous. Anyways, fun time. Thanks, Josh. All right, time for our book club. What are we reading next week, Ben?
Next week, we are reading Planet Lion by Catherine M. Valente, which thankfully has been curated and placed on uncannymagazine.com. So we'll have a link to the show note. You can also listen to the podcast where there's a dramatic reading of it. So
let's see. It's editor's note. Planet Lion is read by Heath Miller, and Catherine M. Valente is interviewed by Deborah Stanish in the Uncanny Magazine podcast episode 4A. So the link to this story will be in our show notes. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, that's where the audio podcast deal is if you want to listen to it instead.
Or if you've got a web browser on a computer that's wide enough that you can see it, you can go to the right-hand side where it says listen to the podcast.
Oh,
right
top. It's there as well. Indeed. Yep. But this week,
Wiki History by Desmond Warzel. And
Warzel? We don't know.
Not sure. Good question. But it's amusing. It's short. And what would you do if you could travel back in time?
It's the presentation of this is so unique because it's set up, and this isn't even something that like the kids would know, because it's set up like forum posts.
Yeah.
What's a forum? So the story starts out International Association of Time Travelers Members Forum. Subforum, Europe, 20th century, Second World War, page 263. And then it's just a series of posts about time travelers. in the forum
From-
Europe, 20th century, Second World War.
From November in 2104.
Yeah,
Year
2104.
2104.
Yeah. Which is great. So before we get into the specifics, what did you think about this story? Like the format, the storytelling, that kind of stuff.
I'll have to. I will have to tell you as soon as, and you find out very, very, very early, like the beginning of this. This is a story about murdering Adolf Hitler. If you know,
this is a story about not murdering Adolf Hitler.
about murdering and being stopped from murdering Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
And like, I went into this knowing that and was like, it seems a little cliche, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But very quickly, because of the fact that you can't just murder Adolf Hitler, even though everybody does when they first get a time machine, that was an interesting story. And I think it paid off really well.
It certainly did. So
yeah,
let's go through it a little bit. Of course, spoilers if you haven't read it, but you should go read it. Excuse me. So, like right away, reporting my first temporal excursion since joining the IATT, have just returned from 1936 Berlin, having taken the place of one of Leni Riefenstahl's cameramen and assassinated Adolf Hitler during the opening of the Olympic Games. Let a free world rejoice. Go ahead.
And then Silver Fox 316 writes, back from 1936 Berlin, incapacitated Freedom Fighter 69 before he could pull his little stunt. Freedom Fighter 69, as you are a new member, please read IATT Bulletin 1147 regarding the killing of Hitler before your next excursion. Failure to do so may result in your expulsion per bylaw 223.
And then a third character comes in. We'll just go through this first little bit. The third character comes in named Big Chill, wrote, "Take it easy on the kid, Silver Fox 316. Everybody kills Hitler on their first trip. I did. It always gets fixed within a few minutes. What's the harm?"
And Silver Fox 316 writes, "Easy for you to say, Big Chill, since to my recollection, you've never volunteered to go back and fix it. You think that I've got nothing better to do?"
So this just reeks of like early 2000s forum posts about people doing stuff. Yeah. Like there's the timestamps on this. There is like the way that people are talking. Like we are now used to more instantaneous text messaging, right? Or a comment section where you're immediately replying to the person above you or perhaps on the subject. Forums were almost more like letters going back and forth. Like it was that weird transitionary period between, with communicating online. And this story encapsulates that writing style perfectly, I think, because the way that they reference other people, the way they say, "Look, I know you're a new member. Go look at the post that says what the rules are." All that stuff.
I mean, if you want something similar, Reddit is a forum site. Right?
Yeah. But as time has gone on, it's the subreddits feel more like comment sections to a main post. I'm sure it depends on which subreddit you go to.
Okay.
But like
so you're saying
it's kind of transitioning a bit more as people are more via Facebook or the way you respond in Twitter. Like all the social media stuff is like, here's a post, here's the comments, not like here's a conversation. Like sometimes they break out into conversations. It's just a different format than the way forums used to be. And I don't think that's good or bad. It's just different. So as the story goes on, there is another person who said, "Oh, I just killed Hitler in this way." And then it's like, again, don't do that. And then I think it happens a third time. And it's like the same thing. So you're like, okay, rule of three, then what happens?
And then eventually Asian Avenger writes, basically like calls out each one of the people who's on this. Like, you're nothing but a pack of racists. Let a light of righteousness shine upon your squalid little viper's nest. And
Big Tom 44 says, "Well, here we frickin' go."
Yeah, Freedom Fighter 69 writes, "Racist for killing Hitler? What the F?" And so What gives, Asian Avenger says, is everyone's repeated insistence on a course of action which, even if successful, would only save a few million Europeans. It would be no more trouble to travel to Fuyuan Shui, China in 1814 and kill Hong Shui Quan, thus preventing the Taiping Rebellion of the mid-19th century and saving 50 million lives in the process. But hey, what are 50 million yellow devils, more or less, right, guys? We've got Poles and Frenchmen to worry about.
Like, yes. Like, was okay. So
Yeah.
when this bit came up, I was like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the thing Hitler did, that whole deal, awful.
The Holocaust.
And I hate
Yes.
it. And and it's terrible that it happened, and it sucks. And it sucks that Nazis are back now. I can't believe that this is the timeline we're in. But there have been other massacres. There have been other wars. There have been other killings of more people. That one, at its point in time, was and still is the most popular, like the most well-known. It's a popular thing, right? Like, we know he did this bad thing, the Holocaust, and so we should stop that. But Asian Avenger writes like, hey, if it's about saving people, there's better ways to go about this.
Yeah. And there aren't rules against it. And so it turns out, sure enough, they're like, hey, well, it's stopping you from killing him, Asian Avenger. And Silver Fox 316 says it seems like a pretty good idea to me. No complications that I can see.
Go for it, man.
Yeah. And then sure enough, a few minutes later, Lady Justice writes, just check the timeline. Congrats on your success, Asian Avenger.
So that was all posted on 12/1/2104. And then on 12/10,
or 12/2, the next day.
I'm sorry. Yeah. 12/2. They're like, Asian Avenger, we need your report, buddy. Like, he never came back to gloat or anything. Okay.
Yeah,
so Silver Fox writes,
Silver Fox 316.
Okay. Apparently, Asian Avenger was descended from Hong Shui Quan. Any volunteers to go back and stop him from negating his own existence? 8 days later, anyone? And then there is a recurring joke. We haven't mentioned it yet, but there's a recurring joke through the whole thing. Point of order, this discussion belongs in the Qing Dynasty Forum. We're adults. Can we keep inside of what's important around here? Because there's always that one dude who's like, hey, you're in the wrong forum. You should be talking about this over there. Which, you know, that's how you keep things organized. But moderators, is great. What a fun, weird little story that's not really about killing Hitler, but it kind of is.
Yeah. No, I like this one quite a bit. And yeah, the format was great. Like what was actually happening was really clear. The motivations of everybody, even in this this format, was really was solid. So way to go, Desmond Warzel.
It is difficult to write a time travel story, and this seemed to like not only nail it, but also not have very much time travel in it, but a whole lot. But it's not really there. Like so clever where it's like, hey, I just killed Hitler, and like the next post is, well, I just undid that. Like in a world where everyone's posting when they're time traveling and what they're doing, as soon as you post that, the instant that it's posted, anyone on the timeline from that point forward can go back and undo it. It reminds me of this board game that I have called That Time You Killed Me. And it's a time travel chess game, kind of. It's really clever. It's very difficult to explain. But think of, you've got 3 grids. One on the left represents the past, the one in the middle, the present, the one at the other end, the future. And the point on the grid, if you go through time, then you move sideways to the other grid, but at the same location. See what I mean? But then in every timeline, different rules can apply to how you move your pieces. And there was one scenario where you have seeds. And so whichever if you plant the seed in the past, then it's at that location, it's a bush in the present, and in the future, it's a tree.
Oh.
And like you can cut down the tree, but then the bush and the seed stay. But if you go back in time and get rid of the seed, then the bush and the tree disappear. And like you can have them spawn, on people on a different timeline, and it hurts them or makes them move. And it's a very interesting, very complicated and taxing game to play. It's when you play a game, either a board game, video game, whatever, and afterwards your brain is tired.
Yeah.
That's what this game was every time I played it. Just like exhausted brain, but also like, wow, that is a clever game mechanic. So much fun. If you ever want to borrow it, let me know. Just you, Ben, not all of our listeners.
Thanks, Steven.
All right. So that
All
was Wiki History by Desmond Warzel. Once again, link is in the show notes if you want to check it out yourself. Recommend it.
Yeah. Next week, Planet Lion by Catherine M. Valenti. Join us.
Join us,
great
if you would. And that's going to be it for this week. So, Ben, do you have any last words?
Well, Steven, since it's getting to be Halloween time around here, I just want to remind everybody that if you are an Irish necromancer, you're probably going to be using your Leprechaun.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.